we had to put this thing
Yeah,
together.
facts. Right.
We had to put this thing together. It's been, it's been, it ain't been soon enough, but we got it here today. Me and the homie Nicholas Baker. This is Two Flew West. This is the influential podcast that we're doing. And we, what better way to start with our roots, our brothers. We all came up in the struggle
All right,
out Capitol Heights, Maryland, Fairmont Heights High School. That joint ain't even like where we went to school at no more. Like they tore the thing down.
it's abandoned. It's just yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was definitely
erasing us from history, man. They're erasing us from history.
yeah. So we had to start. We, me and Baker was like, how else can we start this thing, man? We gotta go back. We gotta get back to where it started. You know what I'm saying? So you started, y'all brothers. Been following y'all, man, and everything y'all been doing, and we just wanted to take this opportunity to, talk about some topics, some things, issues, so forth and so on.
Right.
So I guess
like he on life. He got that. He got that juice in the jar.
Yeah.
So that's something serious right there.
Yeah. You see, I drink mine out of mug now. I drink out of mug now. You know what I'm saying?
I got a red cup. I still got a red cup.
The red cup.
I grow my own. I can't eat the house. I grow my own, man. I grow my own. I'm got to get some big ass chickens, man. I don't know if y'all saw them ones that look like me in the chicken soup. I'm about to get some of them motherfuckers, man. Be like, they can do it.
Pili, what it do?
What's up with y'all?
What it do?
Hey, I just see your face, man. Hey, now, what's up with you, bro?
I can't call it, man. Y'all looking all sophisticated. Donnie sitting outside. He 20 stories up and shit in the background. You know what I mean?
No, boy. He got the whole city behind him.
Yeah.
Look at him.
He levitating. He ain't even sitting in the chair. He just floating. He just floating.
Yeah, and the high rise. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, look, we're still with the red cup though. Still with the red cup.
That's what's up. That's a mighty fancy mug you drinking out of over there too.
Hey, boy, I love this mug. It keep my stuff nice and chilly, man. Keep it chilly, man.
That's what's
got
up.
A whole bottle going. He got peppers and hooch.
Yeah.
I bet you only take 2 shots out that motherfucker now, though.
Hold up, though.
Now, I can't drink like I used to. I can't smoke weed like I used to. I don't do, man. I done got
Mike, you say you drinking hooch over there, Mike. I know you're not drinking hooch.
You ain't see them
I
make
make my own now. I got pear trees and shit out this motherfucker. I can,
You got a beard.
Hey, look, I'm out here with the country white people. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. They about to pull up on me.
Hey, look, so definitely want to take the opportunity to this, drop some topics out there right now, man. So, all of us come from Fairmont Heights High School. We all came up in the program. Yeah. It kind of molded us all to who we are now, and so just wanted to topic, first topic is Mary Cole, like, and what she built.
Oh, wow.
And
that was yeah.
Just talk about it. Just throw that on the table. Who won? Just
Hey, man, for me, it was she changed my life. I think she's one of the most influential people ever in my life that I ever met, because she taught me not only about doing the music, but about life. Like, she taught me how to fight through things and get through things. When you're back against the wall and you gotta fight through certain things to get to the other side. I knew that she genuinely loved us all. That's why y'all forever be my brothers. I spent more time with y'all than I did my own family sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And we was in everybody was in multiple things like choir, concert band, marching band, Malika. So you was in practice before school and after school. When you went home, you went to sleep, so you get ready for practice in the morning. Because Miss Cole won't have you missing that practice. But for me, Miss Cole she is one of the most influential people in my life. She changed my life forever. Like, her impact on my life changed my life forever. Like, it's still things to this day, me being 43, that I look back on being in a band and things that she said to me, you know what I'm saying, that gets me through a lot of things in life. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was just like, it was an amazing experience to have ever met that woman. Like she was a great person, you know, and you know that she cared about us. She might throw a drumstick at you, but she cared about you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. And you know, I was getting a lot of drumsticks thrown. A lot of drumsticks thrown.
She wanted to make a point, so she throw it in. You know what I mean? But I didn't know that then. I was like, oh, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? But she really was, man. And it's like when I see anybody that was in, even if they got kicked out of like, or kicked out the choir, or kicked out the band, when I see them on Facebook or I run into them in the streets, it's like, what's up, fam? What's up, fam?
Right.
You know, it was a
family, man.
It was like a gang or a organization or a frat and a sorority mixed together. Like, she brought us together. Like, we was from different hoods and shit. Like, you know, remember, we didn't even get into the hood. We was cool with everybody. Like, niggas was
right.
Fighting niggas for 25 hours. We gonna fight these motherfuckers, you know what I mean? Or this dude, we gonna 450 or Chevrolet niggas and this, you know what I mean? We didn't even do that. None of us did that.
Right.
We worked with each other and we got to know each other. We was like, dog, we in the same game. You know what I mean? We all in the same. We got a job to do. We got to get through this halftime show. You know what I mean? March and take us down. You know what I'm saying? And get them done. You know, and then what I loved about it is that I didn't realize how she separated, divided, and conquered this. Like, she had sectionals. You know what I'm saying? Where she'll tear you up in there. Nobody that, unless they was in the sectional, somebody knew what happened in the sectional, there's somebody in that sectional six. You know what I'm saying? What stays in the band, stays in the band. Nobody knew what we went through and the hard work, dedication, and that grind that she taught us. We all hustlers. You know, we come from that background. That's everybody from where we come from, no matter if you're black or white or whatever. You know, we all hustlers. You know what I mean? Our family had us about to get to where we are. And to look at you brothers today, to see that all of us got something under our belts, I dedicated all the music, man, because the reason what made me think that is like give it for last. I lost my voice for like 9 months. And I cut my motherfucking pinky, the whole damn finger off and shit. I put it on Facebook July 1st, 2016. And I was like, oh shit, I'm under a sick being like this, like putting this shit together in the kitchen, motherfucker. And I thought about it like, damn, I tried to sing, man, and I couldn't because I knew that, you know, people get married, people die, you know what I mean? People, and not learn how to market myself as far as music. If you need somebody to sing at your wedding, your funeral, your whatever, I didn't realize that was actually a trade to be able to perform. And you can't see stage presence. You have stage presence. I didn't know what the fuck that was. Man, I get out here and work with motherfuckers in the band and I work with people and it's like, damn, these niggas ain't, they whack as fuck, man. When I was in high school, everybody that I know, I could put a band together with the men that I know, and we would have made what they did now. Like, it's incredible.
Right. It was a discipline. She called us that discipline. Like, she taught you that discipline where you had to really focus and lock in. You had to lock in. If you didn't,
But I had to work with none of y'all in the studio, and I know good and damn well that when I do, it ain't gonna be like what I'm dealing with now.
Right.
I'm going through it, man. I'm too old. I'm like, shit. I'm like, nigga, I'm too old, man. I got gray hairs on my dick now. I got mileage on these nuts. You feel me? I ain't trying to be the nigga shaking my ass on the stage no more. I'm trying to be the nigga that's setting the stage. I don't want to be that dude that's out there doing that, even though, you know, when I see a mic, I got to grab the motherfucker because that's the first part of my name. You hear me? I'm like, shit. I see a mic, it's like, even the keyboard, y'all, I don't even know what I'm but I get around a keyboard or some drums or something, I'm like, I'm looking like a French president out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, music kept me going, man. When I was out there and I was homeless, I did like 2 motherfucking weddings and a funeral, dog, and I was able to pay my first down payment on my shit to get myself into a place, man. It's like music. oh, we need somebody, we need a male singer. I was like, man, I'm fucked up right now. I'm gonna need $700 because I just work with y'all for 7 weeks. Give me 7 shows and just $100 a show. Man, they gave me motherfucking 1,200. And I was like, damn, I was able to get out of my motherfucking situation from music, and I'm a motherfucking plumber. You know what I mean? I couldn't get plumbing jobs.
Right.
I was able to get music jobs. So it's like, even when the economy was fucked up, this is 2008. You know what I mean? When the economy was fucked up and shit. I did it from just doing shows. So, you know what I mean? I got some of them on Facebook. It's like showing like 2009 because they wrote into it because they stretched it out. They didn't have the show like they thought like they said, but they gave me the money. So I was going to keep my word and be there. So I'm blessed, man, to be able to grow up with you guys and live my life now and say, when I see y'all, you know we gotta do some music shit. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck how much money we make. You know what I mean? You know we gotta do some music shit. You know what I mean? When I see any of y'all.
Let me jump in real quick, cause like I hadn't heard everything like so far, but like I can just totally agree as far as what Mary Cole meant like to my life and like the influence, like you said, Alan, like one of the most influential people that I've come across to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like from hopping in that damn pickup truck with the little tent on the back and 12 of us be in the back of that joint, rolling around, figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? Mary Cole took me to a homecoming. Like we saw Method Man and Redman with Mary Cole. I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening right now? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like movies on that you see about like these teachers or whatever that go into a school and turn it around. Like we lived that shit, like for real. Like it's a movie. Like that's my thing.
Like for real, yeah, definitely.
It's a full movie that we lived through. You know what I'm saying? And like she had that influence on so many people. I mean, she was at 2 other schools before she was at Fairmont, and everybody who talk about her the same exact way. Like influential, changed my life, did these big things. You know what I'm saying? Like I work at a school now with elementary kids, and I find myself be like, get it done, let's get it done, let's go, like telling my staff, like, come on, y'all, let's get it done. Like hearing myself sounding like her, trying to pass on the same lessons and be the same influential person that she was, because she gave us experiences that we would have never had if it wasn't for her. She took us to a fucking opera. We went to an opera with her. Like, random stuff that we never would have seen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I owe her so much. Just being willing to jump out there and try.
Being from where we was from, being from our community and stuff, you would never, like when she took us to go see like certain movies or, you know, that was like very influential movies that impacted the world. She take you to see those type of things, and she introduced you to everything.
I want to jump in here.
Let your ass out too if you do something wrong.
Absolutely,
and all you do is respect it.
Yeah, no, I wanted to.
I remember they had to shave. We had to shave my head and shit. So
we was in a movie, in the ground, at University of Maryland. Yeah, we had to shave our heads more. Yeah. All of us. Me, Terrence, and with some Pili too, right?
I shaved my head now. I wish that would have been.
Mine just came in. Mine came true too. So it all worked out at the end. You know what I'm saying? It all worked out at the end.
Hey, I'm hanging on by a thread. Hanging on.
I'm still up here, thank God. But I
hanging
wanted to
on
jump in.
I see you.
Hanging on.
And,
I see you.
I wanted to jump in and touch on. I wanted to touch on, kind of piggyback on what Devin was talking about as far as the whole Miss Cole experience. And in a grander sense, I think it's really relevant to what's going on today. A lot of the social issues you see today, because our kids will never experience that type of intense educator. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the stuff that we went through and that we was able to experience, like our kids would never understand that. You know what I mean? And I think it's relevant, especially that it was an old white lady that was doing it. You know what I'm saying? So and I know that, and I think that it really shaped my cultural view in a larger sense. You know what I'm saying? Like especially when you get around a lot of black people who, for lack of a better term, man, just blame white people for everything, or they look at other races and they tend to blame people, man. When you come up in an environment where every day you was being held accountable for performance, you know what I'm saying, and it was about you doing what you do, like that shapes your vision. You know what I mean? It really shaped me in that, man. I always held myself to a different standard, because that's the standard that I learned as a young, you know what I mean, from a child. Growing up in high school, we understood what it was to have a different standard, what a work ethic looked like. You know what I'm saying? And when you bring that work ethic to everything that you do, and at the end of the day, you understand what it's like for everything to fall on you, your successes, your failures, it relates to you. It's hard to really be around people that don't have that same sense of accountability. You know what I'm saying? And even through a lot of the bullshit that I may have done, or the mistakes that I even made, I still operated and held myself to a certain standard. You know what I'm saying? And I never was one to really just be who just blamed everybody else for their shit, because that's not what I'm used to. You know what I'm saying? I got to experience so much, but it was more so about understanding who I was and learning who I was, and that definitely was like
being held accountable for certain things.
Yeah, but not even just, but holding yourself accountable. You know what I'm saying? And transforming from being underneath somebody who you knew was holding accountable to being the one that holds yourself accountable for certain things. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even as I grew older and started making my mistakes, I still had a standard that I knew what the standard was and where I was falling short. And if I fell short, it was always a choice of mine. It wasn't because I didn't have the option, or because the white man was holding me down, or because of what I chose to do. You know what I'm saying? And I can always, even today, I can speak on that with a certain level of honesty, and it helps me to recognize bullshit whenever people bring it to me, because I know better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's important. Like, my bullshit meter is so high, and it's been high since, you know what I mean, a young age, because it just wasn't acceptable for me. You just can't get that off. So
Definitely.
Yeah, I think being
I use the bathroom. Keep on talking. I hear y'all.
cool. I think the thing for me that struck me about Miss Cole was her ability to break down. We all come from like different places, like as everybody said, but it's like she was able to maximize everything that we did. You know what I'm saying? And she was just fearless. She was like probably the most fearless person I ever knew. Like who throws drumsticks at people? Like you know what I'm saying? Like who does?
Her ass, and she knows that. You know what I mean? And she did it. Like, fuck that. This was the reason that I'm doing it, to show you.
She took the homie out though. She choked the homie out. Like, because he wasn't drumming, he was acting up, he wasn't drumming right. She choked him out, And it's like, think about that in today's society, that would be like social media news.
I remember one time she came to the hub, because I was doing the music stuff too, but I had some real rowdy friends. You know what I'm saying? The people, our friends was really in the streets and doing their thing. Now I remember she pulled up, man. Rest in peace to my man Bob, man. She pulled up on Bob and snatched me out the car one time. I was like, yeah, I think I was skipping school or trying to leave school or something, man. She grabbed her, pulled that little great truck right in front of his joint. I was like, nah, get out the car. You better get out the car now. You going with me. And maybe she was real fearless, man. She didn't care about nothing, man. She didn't care about nothing. Especially when it came to her what she called her children. Hey, she go hard, man, for real.
Hold up, though. Remember when I was trying to get some ass in the fucking horse? Who the fuck I trying to stand for a nigga that was wrong? Oh, my God.
Mike, you need to go sit by the router.
Yeah, your shit. You on that dial up over there, Mike.
No, that told me when you're doing certain things, you cannot let some people know you make that move. Let them see. I was like, yeah, I'm about to fuck this man. But I was hitting them up in the homeless that day. I was like, 70 this one. I
got that AOL over there.
Oh man. I can't.
It was a while.
And the girl just hit me up on Facebook for friend request. And I accepted it. But I want to ask her, like, no, we didn't even do it. And she don't say that we did it. She, you know what I'm saying? But she knew that I did some, I was knocking down. I think I was there right to something. But dad was home today.
Like, we got to do that.
I'm like, shit. I'm going to go off this real quick. But I'm not doing that. Not paying attention to the classes that were out able to look out there.
I might gotta change my audio. My headphones breaking up a little bit. Go ahead, though.
No,
I'm
that ain't
talking.
true.
You
Mike sounded like T-Pain.
So they be responsible sexually.
Mike got
Is that Mike? That's just Mike doing?
Yeah, that's just Mike.
Okay.
Mike, you gotta sit one spot.
Go sit by the router.
sit
on the router.
Sit on. Hook your phone up to the router.
It's hilarious.
I'm out here. I'm working while y'all talking. You know what I mean? I never grow. Look, I'm working while y'all talking. I got catalogs out the
Mike out there growing goddamn eggplants.
You got dinosaur eggs.
Boy, who would have thought like you goddamn growing vegetables?
Why not?
Yeah.
I ain't mad at
Or Cabbage Patch Kids.
You should see the new
I
sunflowers.
ain't mad.
You should. He got sunflowers. He got sunflowers, yo. Like Mike,
the sunflowers in the hood. The sunflowers in the hood. I gotta go there tomorrow. I'm in the country. I got wood. I got people.
You got Froman pit bulls and pickled peppers.
And boots. And jaws and boots.
Somebody, you don't watch that toilet. You don't wash your ass one day. You don't watch that toilet. And one day it's going out. So it's the world I'm going. You turn that faucet on.
I don't know what the hell you said.
It sounds good though. Hey, look, I wanna change lanes a little bit, but kind of stick it to the same thing. We all talked about our connection to music, and like Pili, you talked about like kind of the state of where we're at now and everything that's going on. One thing we wanted to like bring up and talk about is like when we look at artists that are out now, music artists. Two that came up in my mind were like Kanye West and Cardi B, right? And when they make comments like political comments or like different things that they want to speak on. I know Cardi B got attacked by like Candace Owens recently. Tell me what y'all think about like how artists are like using their platform now. Should they be more informed? Like, what do y'all just think about how artists are using the platform nowadays? Anybody can.
It's a slippery slope, man. It's a slippery slope. Because Kanye ain't trying to run for president. And I think that, honestly, if he cleans his act up a little bit and get more into politics, he might be able to get close. He ain't going to win, but he'll get close. Because he got that. He got them people, the upper man, he got people on this, that's willing to back him. But it's a slippery slope, even with the sports guys. I don't want to say stick to basketball or stick to, rapping and all that because I did. You know what I mean? Because I'm supposed to be a fucking artist and shit. I'm supposed to have millions of dollars, But I believe that if they study what they're talking about and be able to, if you study something like the rote method of teaching, it's already out there. You can just look at what people say. And if you want to compete against that person, you can definitely, with all the way that social media and all the information that's out there, it'll definitely give it to you to do it. But I just think that they gotta take time away from the music to do it for a couple of years. You know, don't just say shit because she going hood on the rich talking about you got that dry ass, but you got that dot. You know, you ain't got that wop. She talking about, you know what I mean? She talking ghetto shit, and you know, the hood people like in my hood. My house got shut up, right? I am not a gangster. Yes, I got pistols, I got shotguns, I got AK-47, I got all that shit because you can get it legally. I don't have felonies. So when they see me on my bike, because I ride a bike out this bitch. I ain't driving. I'm riding bikes out this bitch right now because I fucking got $10,000 to pay for some bullshit from a company that fucked me and they went bankrupt. And I got a ticket for having an accident in a car, a work truck, and there you put the brakes on. So I'm paying that shit, and I gotta get my license back, and I got a house for that motherfucker that ain't I'm renting. I got 3 different places that I'm renting, you know what I mean, to keep my shit. I'm comfortable. I'm very comfortable. I can move, but looking at the little 16-year-old that was in my house that got shot, she's like a hood, like, because she got shot. She might not finish school now because these motherfuckers is kissing her ass like, whatever. Bitch, cash at me 50 because I need to get me some weed. I'm like, hold up, youngin', you need $50 for what? Well, give me 25 of that and then give me a quarter. You know what I'm saying? I got some folks. No, I'm not going to do that. You know, but her mom will. And it's like I'm dealing with issues that, like, I wish that I came up at this time as a young person knowing what I know, but I don't want to be a young person in this time now because it's easier to get out there and you ain't going to see the sign to say get the fuck away from it. You know, they need to stick not fucking politics. LeBron too, because his son on motherfucking Twitter right now smoking weed. And they say, yeah, LeBron's down with it. You know, he's letting his son do what he want to do and he's talking all this politics shit. They're going to tear his ass up. And then that's going to fuck his money up. He's getting older now. He's older now, and he's going to fuck his money up.
Well, hold up. What I want to say on the topic of the political landscape within music is just like when you're dealing with stuff like that, you have to decide between you being a celebrity and you missing money because you're expressing yourself as a human being, or do you want to? It's like you said, it's kind of a slippery slope, but I think as a human being, you should you should stand for whatever you believe in. And sometimes people might not be as educated to take a stance on certain things, but I feel as though when you have that platform, then you should express how you feel. Be original, be you. If it's something that bothers you and something that's either political or whatever way it is, you should express yourself through your music, and also you have to stand on that. But everybody's out now it's not about the music quality and saying something in the music. It's more about making money. You know, how much money can I make? If I say this or say that, I might not make this much money, or I might not do this. So people are scared. You have those artists out there with their music platform that does express themselves, but they've been in the game for a while, and they pretty good. Like a lot of people that can get through doing that, like a Kendrick or a J. Cole, they're good musicians. They're good artists. You can't be lame trying to stand for something because your voice is not going to be heard. And a lot of older people like a T.I. or Killer Mike, when they first came out, they was doing the same trap type music. Right. You know, they stand up for it, but you have to sprinkle that, make people like me in there while you trying to be politically correct. You know what it is? It's like you gotta sprinkle the parsley on it to make it look good instead of just giving them the meal. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel as though.
Yeah.
Let me hop in on that.
All 4 of us, let's make a track and be in it. I can get $50.
But hold on, Mike. Let me.
Go ahead, P.I.
Let me hop in on that real quick because I think Alan touched on some really good points. So as far as the music and the intersection of music and politics or music and culture in general. I think that first of all, we have to acknowledge that the way that the music game is right now, technology has opened up a whole new door. You know what I mean? And our time, if you weren't a major artist, you weren't signed to a major label, you couldn't get any exposure. You have, you can literally pick up your phone and be a millionaire off of videos you post on your phone now. You really don't need a label now to have a platform to do anything. You know what I mean? It's all about your marketing skills and your ability to market. So it's a blessing and a curse. And I say that because I agree that it's a slippery slope and that you have to be considerate of what you said. Years ago, for instance, homosexuality and homosexual relationships weren't something that were openly talked about on the radio. Now you see it in cartoons, and it's openly supported. And so you have to be, being inclusive is a major part of what's culturally acceptable right now. As far as rappers speaking out, I heard somebody mention Cardi B, and we talked about that a little bit. I think it's a shame when people speak on things, no matter what it is, when they're uninformed. But I think I think the worst part of it is that there are a lot of consumers who are looking to the wrong sources to be informed, and it goes back to that instant technology. A lot of us want to have an opinion on something that we have no idea of. You hear people speak, and it's always been that way, but when it comes to politics especially, a lot of us have opinions on issues where we really haven't done any reading, we don't watch the news, you know what I mean? So a lot of the kids that are getting their information and their news from a Cardi B or from a website are only getting the surface, and they're basing their whole ideology on a surface opinion that, you know what I mean, and they don't have any substance behind it. Another thing, as far as the intersection of musicians and politics and musicians and culture, I think all of us have seen that point, and I think that everybody living is going to get to a point where, a lot of the lifestyles that are being promoted in this rap music, you're going to have to come face to face with that at some point. You know what I'm saying? We grew up, we grew up in the era of Tupac. You know what I'm saying? We grew up, we started this gangster shit, for lack of a better term. You know what I'm saying? And it's fly when you 18, but when you 42, 43, 45, you got grandkids and kids and the family, like you really going to have to, because life has a way of challenging your value system. You know what I'm saying? And so there's going to be a point where you're going to have to figure out, man, do you really believe in this shit that you listening to? The shit that you saying out your mouth, is that really what you stand on? Because life is going to give you the opportunity to stand on it and to really, to see if that's what you're really about, and we all know the outcome, for me, going back to even what we talked about earlier about accountability and about, our experience with Miss Cole, I can say this to you all because you all come from an experience that's similar to mine. I think the number one problem that we have as a Black people and from our community is really cultural. We accept a lot of bullshit. You know what I mean? We promote a lot of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We promote a lot of counterproductive things, and we have made that acceptable on a mass level. You know what I'm saying? It's not cool to have a conversation with a bunch of Black men and for us to sit down and talk about accountability. For us to say, this is what a standard is. This is what's not acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Because once we start holding each other accountable on that level, a lot of the bullshit just doesn't make it into the conversation. So, when you talk to about rappers who themselves are not holding themselves to any standard, who don't have any accountability, who are making millions of dollars, but at the same time, they're not letting their families live in the conditions that they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? They're not sending their kids out there to, they're not, Cardi B said herself, she's not letting her daughter listen to WAP. You know what I'm saying? The kid, these rappers is not sending their kids out in the trap. They're not riding around with the Draco and they not doing that shit. They trying to send their kids to private school. So there's a hypocrisy
and they outside
and that we allow and that we're accepting.
It's
you know what I'm saying? That's become acceptable.
I think, like, just touching on some of the things you said, like going back to like the platform, like when I think about like a KRS-One, right, who was real knowledgeable on a lot of things, right, but he came up in the era where, like you said, his platform wasn't as big. like him getting that exposure. Yeah, he was pretty popular at the time, but his like actual what he was saying, what he talked about, wasn't getting the exposure that an artist will now. That let's say a Cardi B will get now,
Right.
and she doesn't have the knowledge that he had.
Right.
The one thing that was interesting to me, and when you talked about accountability, like what I didn't like is that I felt like Candace Owens, who is knowledgeable, right? And a lot of people don't rock with her because of some of the things she believes in, some of the things she says, but you can't knock that she's knowledgeable. Like that's just what
Exactly. I'm with her.
So
I'm with her.
my thing was that the only thing I saw that I felt could have went different was that in that moment she almost made it a political battle between her and Cardi stepped in that ring, which is like that's what she did. But it's almost like she came to tear her down. Like, okay, now I'm gonna tear you down because you're in a lane that you don't know about, and I do. And that could have been a moment where they could have had a conversation. They could have sat down. They could have said, you know what, we two black women, let's sit down, let's talk about this back and forth and not tear each other down for the political gains of it. But that's where we are. We are where an artist who really doesn't understand all of what they're talking about can literally be used as a political figure and say, oh, see, just for talking sakes, like, oh, see, Democrats, what Cardi is talking about is what Democrats stand for. And then like now that becomes a whole thing where it's like, actually she's speaking her opinion, right? And it's not necessarily a political thing. She's just speaking what she feels. And it's not as educated as maybe it needs to be in that lane. But going back to the black people,
she just has a platform.
Yeah, she has a platform. But our holding ourselves accountable. It's nothing wrong with Candace Owens holding her accountable and saying, like, become knowledgeable about what you're speaking about. Like, in so many words, she was like, you got a platform and you speaking on stuff that you don't totally know about. It's just the way that she did it could have been better. Like, it could have been better for us. And I think that's the unity that we need to show. It's like, if we on a different side, then cool. If you're not with me, I'm going to tear you down, right? No matter what your color is, it's like, they both black women.
That's the temperature of yeah.
Yeah, but
that's the temperature of politics right now.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I'm saying? Like, even growing up, let's look back. My fault for cutting you off, Donovan. Even going back to like when we grew up, you know, I learned that, you know, news and the news outlets was supposed to be nonpartisan. You know what I mean? So if you watched the ABC or NBC growing up, you never knew who was a Republican or Democrat. Now, you know, we're in a political landscape that when you watch the news, you know that, you know, MSNBC or CNBC is for the Democrats and Fox is for the Republicans, and you got all these talking heads because that's what sells. You know what I'm saying? It's being objective doesn't sell.
I can't get that.
So that. I understand what you're saying about Cardi B and about how it went and about Candace Owens, but Candace Owens has an agenda. She has a book to promote, and she's trying to sell her message too. So you know what I'm saying? She's got to do what she's got to do to hustle. I understand it. I wish it would have went better as well, but that's not the reality of the game that she's in. I'm sorry, Don. Go ahead.
No, you good. No worries. I was really just going to say that at the end of the day, I mean, accountability is what it is. You know what I mean? And I mean, a lot of people want to have the power to be able to say whatever is in their heart, but they don't think about the ramifications or how far the ripples go out. You know what I mean? I think it was a snap decision 9 times out of 10. Oh, how she come for me like that? Oh, let me chop her up right quick. You know what I mean? But she probably didn't understand how far it can reverberate and how it touch other people. But that's what makes us human, though, right? You know, I mean, if the only difference between people like them and people like us is that they got 1 million people watching what they doing. You know what I mean? And if every move you made had 1 million people watching you, how would you react? You know what I mean? I mean, and I just kind of look at it from a different when it comes up, that kind of thing, and platform and celebrity, and it really is all about perspective.
No, that's real. That's super real. Like, I think speaking of platform is a good transition here now, because we want to transition to talking about sports now and the platform that sports had. Mike, you brought up LeBron earlier, but I do want to transition to that. Alan, I see you got that bum ass 49ers hat on, you know, but you know, no, I'm just playing. You know, it's Raiders all day, man. Raiders all day.
Okay. We almost pulled it out though. We almost pulled it out. You feel what I'm saying? We just lost 4 people today. But last year we was the last game that I seen in the NFL. We was playing the Chiefs.
But listen,
now back to what you were saying.
What do y'all think about like kind of what the NBA did? You know, they went on a kind of a boycott or hiatus for a couple days and came back. The NFL has started back now. I don't know if anybody's boycotting or not, but if you are, you know, definitely speak on why. But what do you think about how that platform is talking about social injustice, police brutality, kind of some of the political things are being the forefront?
I think personally,
I know it's the hot topic right now. So, like, what do you just think about that in general? Go ahead, Alan. You good?
I think sometimes it's at some point it gets to be more, like we said earlier, being politically correct. Because sometimes it's like, this is what we're gonna do in order to keep this audience or keep these people engaged. If us as black consumers, we're a big part of them making money. So if we kind of cater to some of the things that's good for them, it'll keep them, engaged and be listeners and be broadcasters. Because everybody don't feel that way, but sometimes they do it because it's the right thing to do. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if certain individuals probably on the team feel that way, or have the outlook on life and what's going on, but I think it's good to see them doing it, but I think it's more you can do off of everybody visually looking at you doing it. You can do a lot of things behind the scenes that can help more than just boycotting the game or putting something on your shirt or doing this. Like, really go in and touch on the places and the things that's important to that issue. Like, it's communities that still go through that. It's poverty is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Go somewhere to where as though that's occurring as a team, adopt a hood. Redevelop a hood. Do something to as though you're doing the groundwork and not just doing what's visually cute for everybody to do. To me, sometimes it's just like makeup. You put your eyelashes on for one, you put your eyelashes on, your makeup on. You know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to look good for people out there, but when you come home, you in the house, you don't wear that stuff. You don't wear that. So sometimes it's just like, are they serious about it or are they not? Because in life, we've been saying this before. We've been saying this manipulation of we're going to do this for you, and it only lasts for so long, and then it's right back to the same old thing.
Yeah.
Really go and touch on the people that is affecting. Police training, like certain things, whatever you need to do, whatever aspect or lane you think that would change it, I think it'd be more directly to get your hands dirty and not just put nails on and make your hands look pretty while you talking about it.
Yeah, I think on that note, man, looking at it, because what I'm saying, like, I'm in Ohio, man. I'm in the middle of Ohio. And yesterday, I'm about to show y'all this. I don't know if we recording or nothing, but I'm gonna show y'all the little kid that asked me. He said, "Does white lives matter?" And I looked at it and I listened to all of them. I listened to Fox, I listened to CBS, I listened to all the news shit, man. And I can understand, like, if I'm in the middle and I gotta look and I gotta be the referee, I can see where both sides are coming from. Who's funding it? And who's really benefiting from the Black Lives Matter thing when you look at what's happening in my community right now? The police still shooting us over here. You ain't see none of that shit on the news. You know what I mean? It's like the police said all lives matter, and I'm like, okay, but this motherfucker done just cussed you out and slapped the shit out of your motherfucking supervisor, and y'all didn't shoot that motherfucker, but my nephew down the street you know what I'm saying, ran from you and you shot his ass in his ass. He's living. You know, now y'all gotta pay this motherfucker. And I told the police, you know, like, dude, you know what I'm saying? This shit ain't even on the news. But let me just show you real quick, because I'm gonna show you real quick, because this is where I'm at right now, man. You know, just to keep it real, man. Just to show that I ain't even bullshitting about nothing, man, because I got all the kids. All the kids is mine. You know what I mean? Yeah. This little kid right there, he asked me that. You know? In my fucking house. You know? And what do I say? I told him, you know, all lives matters, but then I told one of my other nephews is white, all lives matter. He go to school, he get his ass kicked by all the black kids because they supporting the black life. Like, that's not right. Like, it's causing, like, what's happening with the Black Lives Matters and the you know, call for justice, because we've been marching for a long time. So it's like, I understand. Like, sometimes, our Lord forgive me, when they burned all this shit down out this motherfucker, I was like, they need to do that shit, man, because they standing for something. These little motherfuckers is out here on the block. They want to work. I put them to work, and then it's like they get their first check and they disappear. You know what I mean? I'm empowering these little motherfuckers, man. Like, I gotta let the 16-year-old little stepdaughter that I got can put a tankless water heater in y'all house. Gas, not motherfucking electric. Don't put electric because electric ain't gonna do right. You know what I mean? You gotta change the breaker and all that. But gas, tankless water heaters, I got little niggas man, they on the block right now, man. And it's like, just because I don't want them to get shot, I say, come with me. Demo this house for me, man. I need all this stuff off the walls, nails, and all that shit out the studs. I need it in the dumpster in the back. I'm going to give you $100 today, $100 tomorrow. If you don't finish it after that third day, then you ain't getting $50 at last, because I'm giving you $250 each. You know what I mean? Which is fair, you know, for the size houses that they got out here. You know what I mean? And it's like, they young, man. I ain't doing that shit no more. I'm like, I'm trying to empower them. And then if it's like somebody say, well, I need a demo, they can get $1,500 to demo, you know what I'm saying, a small house. All they got to do is just provide them a, you know, dumpster or whatever, because we don't do that. I don't provide the dumpster and all that. I got the demo kids, and they know how to do it. But it's like, once I stop, I feel so bad because I probably got it on my Facebook. The little nigga, man, he had his grandmama's panties on his head and robbed and shot the damn motherfucking cashier at the UDF gas station. I'm like, nigga, I had your money over here. You could have just came and got it. Like, what the fuck will make you? He got with the other little niggas that was like, nigga, we can get this right now, nigga. You can get your money to get over there. Nigga, y'all had a car to take him to do that shit. Y'all could have brought him over here to get his money. You know, and it's like, man, I try so hard, and it's like, I'm not giving up, but it's frustrating, and it's really hard because now I see what Miss Cole was talking about. Now I see what Mr. Wake and Mr. McDonald and all my administrators, when I was being an asshole out there, I see what I could have turned into, because I was a Lord, thank you, God, that it wasn't a YouTube, a motherfucking Facebook, it wasn't a motherfucking worldstylehiphop.com, because I would have been the nigga that was dipped out like this in the street doing his dance and shit. You know what I mean? Thank you. I'm glad that I did all the drugs and shit.
Respect.
And got through all that drug shit,
let me jump in here with you.
All the man, I know what every drug smell like, feel like. Can't no kid put nothing over my head. Now, this new shit, I don't know what that smell like, but I be like, hold on, that shit don't smell right. Get that motherfucker out of my bathroom. You know what I mean? But it's like, I know from experience what is out there and where it could have took me, because I ain't gonna front Tim Weinmullen. My nigga, I hope this is recorded. My man need to get it together. Holla at your boy, nigga, if you mad if we recording this shit live. Holla at your boy, because I saw the video. You know what I mean, nigga? You went to school with me, nigga. We graduated the same year, 95, nigga. You out there off the dipset, nigga. You can't do that. We too old for that. They got you on video now, nigga, looking like a damn dolphin.
That boy,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know
Hey,
what
so
I'm
look,
saying?
right, let me
Come
hop
on,
in here.
nigga.
Let me hop in here
Yeah.
with you real quick,
Go ahead,
Mike.
go ahead, Pili.
Nah, I was saying, you know, as far as the sports thing and as far as the NBA thing, you know, I sat back and I didn't really feel any type of way about it. No, I applaud. I'm gonna say this. I applaud them dudes for what they did. You know, a lot of people, black people, are so quick to critique what somebody else do, man, and somebody else's level of effort. You know what I'm saying? But they won't go to their job and bust a grape. You know what I'm saying? Like we require a level of effort from sports stars and from celebrities that we don't put forward. You know what I mean? And I think that's being a hypocrite. You know what I mean? I know that, you know, at the end of the day, they got mothers and families and kids to feed too. You know what I mean? So I really respect the effort, the level of effort that they put out. Do I think that the NBA was motivated by profits, that the owners were motivated by profits? Of course they were. Were they put in a position where they felt like they had to say something and do something? I think so. I mean, I think our current political climate shows that. Um, you know, look at Jerry Jones. Look at what he got on TV and did versus when it first started, when Colin Kaepernick out, versus the tone of his demeanor and his tone and what a lot of the owners are saying now. You know, on a grander scale, I think that a lot of our problem at the end of the day, when we start talking about business, the intersection of business and culture, I think number one, I don't think there's anything we'll ever be able to do that will really influence certain people to see black people as we want to be seen without us owning our own. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you can be the best employee. You can be employee of the month. They can give you the best parking spot, but you're still an employee. You know what I mean? And the employee will never be treated like the owner of a company. You know what I'm saying? If you can't, that's my whole thing. When it comes down to a lot of things, you know, we don't like the way that we're getting treated in the community. We don't like our economic status, but we don't own anything. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The level of black people, of respect that black people, you know, I think they say black people, the black community is worth $2 trillion.
Yeah.
So why are we even talking about poverty? We don't see $2 trillion worth of poverty in our community. So on a grander scheme, you know, a lot of things that we talk about, Black Lives. Hold on, let me finish, Mike. Okay. So a lot of the things that we say, you know, in terms of, I can say this to you all now, as far as Black Lives Matter goes, I'm going to say this. I don't like Black Lives Matter as a slogan because the slogan is very misleading. You know what I mean? What we're really saying to people is we want the police to stop shooting us for no reason. Black Lives Matter is, you know, I don't need you to tell me that my lives matter. I don't need somebody to acknowledge that my life matters, because if you see me as a human being and you don't even acknowledge that my life matters, me screaming up and down and holding a picket sign saying that my Black life matters is not going to change your perception. You know what I mean? That's my big problem with it. One thing I will agree with that critics say is that Black lives have to matter more to Black people. Because if Black lives matter more to Black people, then the way that we want to be treated will change by default. You know what I'm saying? If we took care of each other, if we treated each other with respect, if we treated our women with respect, if we treated our children with respect, if we made education a priority in our households, then we wouldn't, you know, it would be different. I'm not gonna go on to, because I'm really passionate about this subject. When we start talking about, you know, these type of things, this is kind of what I'm on. But I'll keep it narrow to that subject. You know what I'm saying? As far as the sports, man, I'm LeBron. I don't care what you feel about LeBron as a sports figure. We can have the debate later about whether he's the greatest basketball player ever. We can have that debate later. He's a great man. I respect him as a man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He did a lot
Floyd
for us
Mayweather. I like Floyd Mayweather is arguably one of the best boxers of all time. I don't respect Floyd Mayweather as a man, me personally. You know what I'm saying? I don't like what he stands for as a man.
Yeah,
regardless of whatever he done, however much money he makes as a boxer, I don't respect him as a man because of the things that he says out of his mouth until he shows me something different. And I don't think he's ignorant. Maybe he is ignorant. Maybe he doesn't have enough knowledge to know. But I don't like how he uses his platform. So that's just me. You know what I mean? But again, it's when we go back to that word accountability, I can't criticize what any sports figure does if I don't hold myself to that same standard. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's some good, man. Some good. I agree too.
That out here, like I'm in Ohio, man. That nigga came to Columbus and did shit for the hood, LeBron. He did shit in Akron. He did shit in Cleveland. You know, and I'm talking about for the community, not in the suburbs and all that shit. He came to the hood, you know, to give these kids something to dream about. But it's like, damn, it's like being a fucking great basketball player. We got a lot of great basketball players out here, man. It's saturated. They don't realize that part. I wish that they could express to them that the other things that he's starting to get into, because he ain't gonna be able to play basketball forever. Can he show them other venues and other avenues that they could roll down to do better? Because we need more, and that's what our kids look up to. These rappers, man. My little 8-year-old niece was showing me some whack ass rapper, man. I'm like, he's a gangster. This dude is a gangster that you talking about?
Nah, I mean,
come on my block, nigga. Come on my block right now. Like, come on my block. Tell that dude to come, just ride up my street with that motherfucking car that he got right now, and come say hi to me.
Hey, look.
Like,
I think we all can agree.
Man, I ain't even over there right now.
I think we all can agree times are definitely different, and like what may have constituted as one thing don't constitute as the same thing now. I think jumping in a little bit just to touch on it, Pili, what you said about like LeBron. Definitely, I'm one of the LeBron haters of him on court for sure. I think he's overrated on the court, but definitely as a man and some of the things he's done off the court, like I think he's probably one of the most influential basketball players because he's doing it at a time where he's considered to be the greatest player in the game. And that's, I think, the rare point that you see. Sometimes there are players who do it who are out of the spotlight.
Considered, he is. He's not considered. He is.
And they've done a lot when they out of the spotlight. Or like you look at Michael Jordan now, he's speaking up a little more, putting a little more money out there to kind of fund some things. But when he was in the spotlight as the man, like he was very hush hush on certain things. So like I definitely tip my hat to LeBron on not being scared or like definitely being brave to step out there as the face of the NBA and be like, look, I'm speaking on what I need to speak on, making moves to definitely push messages. I also agree with your point about the slogan of Black Lives Matter. I mean, it's a statement more than a slogan, and I think that's where a lot of the battles come up is where, you know, you say Black Lives Matter and you get a response, and it's like, I think that's why people get frustrated, and it became a different conversation, is that Black Lives Matter is like you said, like I shouldn't even have to, like, that should be known. Like that's a thing that we shouldn't have to have a conversation about, right? But when you say it and it's met with another statement or slogan back, that's where you start to get into this like really weird like back and forth.
It's
I agree with you, Pili, on the slogan, and I'm definitely like pretty heavy into that whole thing as well. How to Be an Anti-Racist, great book. If y'all ain't read it, read it.
How to Be an Anti-Racist.
Yeah, it's a great book if you haven't read it. It puts it in a different perspective. But yeah, man, I think on the sports as a whole, like you said, I agree. We can only put so much.
Yeah, because I got these guys.
We can only put so much on them if we're not doing the same thing ourselves. Yes, they have a bigger platform, but all of us have a platform within the space that we occupy. You know what I'm saying? There's things that we all can do on our levels that can make a change. I think everybody's movement is necessary. The people out there screaming Black Lives Matter right now, the people out there burning shit, the people who sitting back trying to organize, the people who got strategy, like everybody's part is important right now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's in a different place in their life. There's some young cats out there who marching who feel like, who probably would have never done anything for change at all. right? So I'm not going to bash them if that's what they feel like they're part of that's their thing. Cool, that's where you are in your life, in your journey, right? We all may be in different places. Our place might not be out on with a picket sign saying Black Lives Matter. It may be more strategical, saying, okay, we've been doing this for a while. How can we actually make some change happen? What do we need to do to like really see some systemic change happen? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I definitely agree with you on the part of saying like you can't judge anybody's move. Like everybody's doing what they feel is the best movement for them to make things happen. So I do think it's a unique time where there's more acknowledgement of the problem. I don't know if the problem will ever get fixed in our lifetime, but I can at least say that I think that it's acknowledged in a wider frame now than it maybe ever has.
Oh, hey, well, fellas, I love y'all so much. I can't wait till we do this again. Nigga, it was 44 degrees last night out this bitch. I don't know what the temperature been out there where y'all at. That's the only thing I hate about being out this bitch. It get cold as hey, Pili, I know you know about that Ohio cold, don't you? Pili.
Yeah, I know. I definitely know.
You
I know about it.
that motherfucking Ohio cold, man. Hey, I love y'all.
Yeah.
See, they cutting grass and shit out here for me, man, because I paid them. So I got white people cutting my grass.
I'm at 93 degrees.
I want y'all to see this shit, man.
Yeah, we're about Saturday.
I feel like I'm the motherfucking man out this motherfucker. Hold on. Watch this shit. Let me press it again. Hold on. Look, he about to cut my shit for me. Hey, thanks, man, for that point.
Almost getting out though.
Hey, he moving too.
Yeah.
He got
I
that.
got him. Hey, ain't no racism over here. You know what I'm saying? I love all my people, but I love y'all. My phone about to go dead. I got his portable charger.
All right.
Hey,
Love you, bro. Be good.
All right, bro. Be safe.
Before y'all go, do y'all want to like shout out anything you got going on? Anything you want people to know about? Like, go ahead, put it out there now. Alan, you got anything? Pili, you got anything?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you know, it was an honor to be here with my brothers. Y'all already know, I love all you guys. I have mad respect for you guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm always gonna be supportive of everything you do. Pili, I need you to sign this book for me. So I need some information from you to send this book to you. You know what I'm saying? Send your book. I'm sure you're gonna plug that out, make sure you shout that out. But I want mine's autographed. I don't care what nobody say. I want mine's autographed. You already know what it is, and man, we have a relationship outside of that. You know, you always been my brother. The go-go bands and all the fun times we had together, doing all the crazy stuff that we used to do in the streets, and you know how it is. R.I.P. my man, Fat Dog. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. to him.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? One of our big bros that really was a key part of my life personally. You know what I'm saying? Pili know how he is. You know, he was. You know, he was Fat Dog. He was who he was. So I got the Gambino graphics thing is kicking off, man. You know, besides that, man, that's all I'm doing. Just trying to raise these boys, man, and just live life. You know, I had challenges, I had obstacles, but you know, like we were saying earlier, being a cold kid, you know, you learn how to fight through all those. You learn how to really check yourself in the mirror. You look in that mirror and you check yourself, and you know, sometimes some people need other people to check them and get them in order, and sometimes you can check yourself, when you know you're doing what you're not supposed to be doing. So that's about all going on with me, man. That's what it is.
What's your social media so people can reach out to you?
At Gambino Graphics on Instagram and at Gambino Graphics on Facebook. You can go to the page, man. I'm just doing the graphics right now. I'm about to get into some cooking stuff too, but that's I'm gonna let God work that out before I put that on the mainstream. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let him dibble and dabble on that one so it can come back right. So before that happens, I'm just doing graphics right now. Also doing the music. I got a whole bunch of nephews that's really doing a lot of music in the DMV. You know, you'll see me post from time to time. You know, so that's all I'm doing, man. Just loving and living life, man. That's what it is.
That's what's up. Yeah, as far as me, man, like I said, I got my book out. As Alan mentioned, man, my book is out. It's on Amazon. Book is titled The Apprenticeship of Sin, From Prison Through Promise to Purpose. I don't promote it much. I know I don't promote it on social media as much as I should. I'm still trying to grow that area of my life and really get into promoting and, talking about
Send that link to me. I post it. I post it. I'm a good poster now. I post
man.
it.
I
especially as my brothers, my fam, I post it. I'm already on.
No, I posted. I don't, I can say this to y'all because y'all understand. I don't like feeling like I'm a bad man just getting on here and just talking, just to talk and say something. It's so much of that. It's so saturated.
But you are a bad man.
But I'm working on it will take the light nigga. It take the light skinned nigga to say that. Man, you know what I'm saying? It's like
I had to throw one in there. It wouldn't be good
Absolutely.
Try to get one of it.
No, so I had my book out. Like I say, I'm trying to do better, and I'm gonna put it out there, man. That I'm trying to do better promoting. But the book is on Amazon. I also just started my own consulting agency. You can look me up, Greenfield, svcs.com. Started my own consulting agency. I'm certified in DC as a certified business entity, so I get preferential treatment on government contracts. I'm working on getting my federal certifications now. I'm getting ready to get my general contractor license. You know what I mean? So whatever you do, man, if you make T-shirts, whatever you do, you draw, you can speak, you do seminars, man, if you see me on Facebook, hit me up, whatever your business is. Basically I'm a consultant. I'm trying to connect business opportunities with people who are able to service it. You know what I mean? I feel like, as we talked about earlier, we really have to get on top of us making money together and us taking advantage of opportunities and sticking our foot in the door where we're not getting opportunities. And there are a lot of companies that want to work with us, Black people, that want to work with disadvantaged citizens, people who have criminal history, whatever it is, they want to work with us. And so I hope to be the liaison to make some of those connections happen. So feel free to hit me up. Facebook, I'm on there, Pili Greenfield. My Instagram, I'm still P. Wherever you'll find me, I'm on Instagram. I'm not hard to find. Just hit me up.
Right.
Nice. Before everybody bounce, man, just we threw some RIPs out there real quick, but just definitely wanted to throw the biggest RIP of them all, Big Wendell. RIP, man, in so many years since you've been gone, bro, but miss you. And just wanted to, gotta throw him out there. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Right. Bless him.
Man, look, we definitely gonna keep this Two Flu West thing pushing. We're looking to get some of the ladies from Malika on here next to have a conversation. So
that'd be crazy.
Yeah,
that'd be real crazy.
Check that out. This whole episode I've been trying to figure out who we was talking to, man. And look, I figured it out finally. Damn, we had Teddy Riley on the call the whole goddamn time.
I know Portuguese over
Yep.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Gotta do it, man. Love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely, bro. Let y'all too, bro. Be safe, man.
Yeah, be good, man. Y'all know.
Yeah,
finish watching my team lose, man.
I'm about to go ahead and make some sesame shrimp and chicken, man, over some yellow rice or something. Some veggies or something.
He ain't trying to hype up how he's chefing it up out there. Come on now.
That's coming up next. That's coming up next.
That's what's up.
All right, guys. So at the end of the day, this is stay tuned for the next episode of Two Flu West. Donnie B got the beats, Nicholas Baker, and the bros, family. Stay tuned for what we got next. Once a week, every Sunday.
All right.
Peace, guys.
Peace out.
All right, peace.